Thanks for coming along. Really appreciate you coming in today.
All good. Novel to be back in the city, actually.
Yeah.
For once.
How does that feel? You were just saying as you were coming in, it's like you haven't been to the city for weeks.
Yeah, look, it's good, but it's been a very interesting experiment.
Yes.
Particularly as sort of a CEO of a business and seeing how a business can function in a very different sort of non-traditional manner, and how we're all working, remotely in our own houses. I think it's going to change the way a certain number of businesses work, I'd have thought.
So how has it been working for you? Has it been business as usual or business as unusual?
Look, in terms of how we functioned as a business, it's almost been business as usual. We're working remotely. We've got our CTO, our dev team. We're regularly checking in on video calls. We're having video calls with the UK or US, etc., as we always would do. It's worked very, very well, and it's just helped us get a bit more of a work-life balance as well, I think. Yeah. Saving on commuter time.
Yes.
So it's been good. I think everyone's enjoyed it. In our company, in our culture, everyone works remotely, and you got to have a little bit of trust.
Yes.
That the people aren't off down the beach, but as long as they're getting the work done.
Yeah.
And we're
so you don't have a camera down on the beach checking on them?
Yeah, well, occasionally. I don't think that's legal.
So you mentioned, as we were just chatting before, that you taking this opportunity of lockdown and so on to actually go back a step and kind of retool the business and actually come out of this stronger. Do you want to talk a bit more about that?
Look, I think it became apparent very, very quickly that you sort of got probably two types of businesses in this sort of period of COVID-19. One are businesses such as Zoom, where it works very nicely for those guys, and it's around sales generation, etc., scaling, managed increases in demand. Other businesses or categories such as the outdoor advertising marketplace, which is usually $1 billion a year here, 55 bill globally a year, have been decimated through no fault of their own. It's been decimated. People aren't out on the streets, so why would advertisers pay? Right, they're not seeing them. So I quickly realised we're in the latter, and you're not really going to generate incremental sales. We're luckily, we've got a sort of steady base of sales. But I decided to pivot the business straight into product development, and ultimately to come out stronger than we've gone into this sort of period of isolation, and it seems to be working.
So what are some of the lessons that other businesses can take from this? How can they come out stronger? What are some of the things that you learned of them just in the last few weeks of taking a step back and
I think there's the basic hygiene factors, get all over your financials. Have a period on which you're focusing on cash flow. So straight away, I've managed the business cash. We're good until the end of October without any incremental sales coming in. So you can sort of remove that pressure point a little bit if you can, because that can be a major distraction to anyone, right? And particularly CEO, keep them up at night time. You've got your financials. Part of that is your team. Motivate your team. Make sure they're in a position whereby they can keep effectively working. These are day-to-day hygiene factors. But sort of establish quickly which of those two categories that I mentioned earlier that you're in. Can you drive sales? If you can't, right, refocus the business, have a purpose. And for us, it's around product development, making our tech better. And actually we're also building a new product, but you've got to face up to it and not panic. CEOs, businesses, startups, we have challenges every day, every week. This is one of those things.
So what I hear, the two biggest takeaways is actually face up to it and not panic. It's like,
that's right.
I think we've certainly spoken to a lot of businesses where the reality is that they're not really facing up to it, and they're sort of aware, but they go, but I don't want to do what I have to do. And nobody knows exactly how the economy is going to start rebooting. you know, my personal view is it's going to take a very long time. So we need to have a lot of runway, much longer than we probably ever thought. You know, I think it's fairly well known the Australian business average cash reserve is something like a couple of weeks, and you know, that is one of the things that certainly has to change in the months and years ahead.
But also get good advice, and in terms of what you are entitled to as a business, whether it's JobKeeper, whatever it might be, you know, don't be embarrassed. Reach out. That's what it's there for. You know, some CEOs probably would be a bit embarrassed that they're in a bit of financial trouble. Again, you know, face up to it, and it's a reality. And if there's various grants, etc., you know, you use it for this period.
That's why they're there.
That's right. That's right.